Every relationship hides a story, and every story carries pain. Welcome to Cheating Stories Insights, where truth bleeds through words. The message came just as the train doors closed. Oops, it read. Change of plans. We thought you could use a break. Don't be mad. I stared at the screen, the words blinking back at me. Then the announcement echoed through the station. Train to Eastboro canceled due to system error. System error? No, it wasn't. I stepped off the platform and into the cold air, the noise of the station dulling into a low hum in my ears. I knew that tone, her tone, when she thought she was being clever. And I knew the way her sisters laughed when they thought they'd gotten away with something. A prank. That's what she called it last time, too, when they'd swapped my presentation slides before an investor meeting. When they posted that video of me falling asleep on the couch, edited with snoring sounds and sent it to her family group chat. Every time I said nothing. Every time they laughed. And every time I forgave her. But not tonight. The cold crept up my sleeves as I sat on a bench outside the empty station. My bag was still beside me, packed neatly for a 3-day business trip that would have secured my firm's next contract. Months of preparation, gone. They thought it was harmless. They thought I'd shrug it off, call her later, maybe even smile through it. But something in me had gone quiet, and when I go quiet, I start thinking. I went home 3 hours later. The lights were on. I could hear them laughing inside before I even touched the door. Her sisters. The echo of wine glasses. A playlist she only used when she was showing off. I stood outside for a long moment, listening, measuring. Then I unlocked the door. The laughter died like someone had cut a wire. "Oh my God, you actually came back," one of her sisters said, choking back a laugh. My wife covered her mouth, stifling a grin. "Baby, it was just a joke. Don't look at me like that." I looked at her, but my mind was somewhere else. I wasn't angry. I was calculating. They thought I'd storm off, slam the door, prove their point. Instead, I smiled. "It's fine," I said softly. "I get it. I probably overreacted." Relief flooded her face instantly. "See, I told you he'd understand." Her sisters cheered, glasses raised. Laughter again. Same laughter that had chipped away at me for years. I joined in, a sound I didn't feel. And while they laughed, I looked at her phone on the counter, unlocked, vibrating with messages. I saw the chat thread. They'd planned it days ago. "Let's see if he cries this time," one message read. Another one said, "He's so pathetic when he tries to act serious." Something cold settled inside me then. Not rage, not sadness, just precision. That night, while they slept, I sat in the dark with my laptop. Every joint bank account, every automatic transfer, every digital subscription that kept her comfortable. Her spa memberships, her boutique invoices, her personal trainer's monthly retainer, all of it. Click, cancel, click, redirect. Every wire that connected them to me severed. By dawn, the financial scaffolding they stood on had been erased. And I didn't leave a note. I didn't need to. 3 days later, the calls began. At first, her voice was light, uncertain. "Babe, did something happen to our cards? I think there's an error." I said I'd check, then didn't. A few hours later, another call, this time sharper. "The mortgage payment didn't go through. They're saying the account's frozen. What's going on?" "Must be a glitch," I murmured. By the end of the week, her tone had changed entirely. Panic laced with disbelief. "You moved everything, didn't you?" I didn't respond. The silence after that was perfect. Not cruel, just honest. They'd laughed at my expense for years, treating every humiliation as entertainment. They'd mistaken patience for weakness. Now they were learning the language I'd lived in all this time: isolation. The same isolation they built for me, one joke at a time. A week later, I went to the cafe near the station, the same one where I'd sat that night, stranded and forgotten. I watched the trains arrive and leave, the crowd shifting in waves, the world moving forward, as it always does. My phone buzzed once more. A message. From her. Please, we went too far. Come home. I read it twice. Then once more. Then I deleted it. I didn't reply. Not out of cruelty. Out of completion. She'd taught me something without realizing it. Silence can be the loudest answer. Days turned into weeks. Then a month. Through mutual contacts, I heard her sisters had gone back to their parents' house. She'd sold her jewelry to cover bills. I didn't feel satisfaction. I didn't feel pity either. Just stillness. Because for the first time, I wasn't a prop in someone else's game. I wasn't their punchline. I was the consequence. I passed by the station again recently. The bench was empty, the same one where I'd once sat shivering with humiliation. It looked smaller now, or maybe I'd just stopped sitting in places meant for waiting. I realized something then. Forgiveness had never been the high ground. It was the leash. And I'd finally let go. A week later, I received one last letter, handwritten, desperate. Inside, a single line. How can you live with yourself after what you did to us? I smiled faintly, folded it neatly, and burned it. Because the truth is, I can live with myself just fine. It's them who can't live with what they made of me. The silence between us now is different. Not empty, earned. And every time I think of their laughter, I hear the echo fade a little more. Until one day, it will be gone completely, and I'll still be standing.